Today, we're force quitting our universal programming with 25 habits that will make you unstoppable. 99% of people are stuck in a factory-setting loop of doom scrolling and waiting for the right moment. That's the harsh truth we all ignore. We think about making positive changes, but we don't act on them. Stick around for habit number 4. It will make your social circle very nervous. Habit number 1, the first draft morning. Most people wake up and immediately try to edit their lives. They check emails, respond to fires, and try to be perfect by 8 a.m. Stop it. Treat your morning like a rough draft. It's okay if it's messy. The habit: do one thing for your future self before you interact with a single other human or screen. Write one paragraph, lift one heavy thing, or meditate for 60 seconds. It's not about excellence. It's about claiming your territory before the world colonizes your brain. Habit number 2, radical skill stacking. Being the best in the world at one thing is statistically impossible. You aren't going to be the next Olympic sprinter, but being in the top 10% of 2 unrelated fields, that's where you become a unicorn. Think about it. A coder who's also a master deep sea diver, that's not a developer, that's an explorer. The 99% specialize until they're just another resume in the stack. The 1% stack weird skills until they aren't just better, they're the only ones who exist. Habit number 3, the no complaining audit. We've all met that person whose personality is just a curated list of grievances. Don't be that person. For the next 24 hours, you are forbidden from complaining about anything, even the weather, even the guy who cut you off in traffic. Complaining is just broadcasting your victimhood to the world. When you stop, you realize how much energy you were wasting on things you can't control. Habit number 4, strategic boredom. When was the last time you sat in a chair for 10 minutes without a phone, a book, or a podcast? If the answer is never, your brain is basically a dopamine-fried circuit board. The 1% embrace boredom because that's where original thoughts live. If you're always consuming, you're never creating. Sit, stare at a wall. Let your brain get weird. Habit number 5, the Lego approach to wealth. Most people see money as a thing to be spent. The 1% see it as Legos to be built. The habit: never buy a liability, something that loses value, until your assets, something that makes money, can pay for it twice. It's boring, it's slow, and it's exactly why you'll be retired while everyone else is still arguing about interest rates. Habit number 6, aggressive unlearning. We spend 18 years learning things that mostly don't matter, and the rest of our lives clinging to them like a security blanket. The most successful people I know are world-class unlearners. They are willing to admit they were wrong about everything from their diet to their political views if better data shows up. Your ego is an anchor. Cut the rope. Habit number 7, the 10-minute deep work sprint. Forget 4-hour work sessions. Nobody actually does that. Instead, master the art of the 10-minute sprint. Set a timer, turn off notifications, and work with such ferocity that you'd scare a Victorian-era chimney sweep. You can do anything for 10 minutes. Do that 6 times a day, and you've outproduced 99% of the workforce. Habit number 8, the eulogy metric. Stop asking, is this profitable? Or, is this fun? Start asking, will I care about this when I'm 80? If the answer is no, stop doing it. The 99% live for the weekend. The 1% live for the legacy. It sounds dark, but nothing clarifies your priorities faster than a little deathbed audit. Now that we've contemplated our mortality, let's get back to the living. Specifically, why your current to-do list is actually a to-don't list in disguise. Habit number 9, the anti-to-do list. You love having a long to-do list because it feels like progress. It's not. It's just a menu of ways to stay busy while avoiding the scary stuff. The 1% keep an anti-to-do list, a list of things they will refuse to do today. No checking Slack before 10 a.m. No saying yes to quick sync meetings. No responding to passive-aggressive texts. By narrowing your focus to the few things that actually move the needle, you stop being a human pinball. Habit number 10, digital fasting, the sundown rule. Your brain wasn't designed to process the opinions of 4,000 strangers at 11:30 p.m. The habit: when the sun goes down, the blue light goes away. No scrolling, no one more episode, no digital noise. The majority of people go to bed with their phones. The 1% go to bed with their thoughts. This is how you reclaim your circadian rhythm and stop looking like a background extra from The Last of Us. Habit number 11, the FBI listening technique. Most people don't listen. They just wait for their turn to talk. They're mentally rehearsing their next brilliant point while you're pouring your soul out. The elite practice tactical empathy. They ask open-ended questions and then shut up. If you can master the art of making someone else feel like the only person in the world, you'll unlock doors that money can't buy. Habit number 12, the failure post-mortem. When the 99% fail, they hide. They delete the evidence and hope nobody saw. When the 1% fail, they perform an autopsy. Why did this die? Was it the strategy, the timing, or the ego? They don't take it personally. They take it as data. The habit is simple. Every time something goes wrong, write down 3 lessons. If you're learning, you're not losing. You're just paying tuition to the University of Hard Knocks. Habit number 13, the 2-minute habit pivot. You want to run a marathon? Put on your shoes. That's it. That's the habit. The 99% focus on the 26.2 miles and get paralyzed by the scale. The 1% focus on the first 120 seconds. If you can't master the art of showing up, you'll never master the art of finishing. Make your habits so small they're impossible to fail. You don't write a book. You write 1 sentence. Habit number 14, high stakes saying no. The 99% say yes to everything because they have a pathological need to be liked. The 1% say no to almost everything because they have a pathological need to be effective. No is a productivity tool. No is a boundary. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Start saying it until it feels comfortable, then say it some more. Habit number 15, the comfort crisis protocol. We live in the most comfortable era in human history, and it's making us soft. Our ancestors fought saber-toothed tigers. We get stressed if the Wi-Fi is slow. The habit? Do something physically miserable every day. A cold shower, a heavy lift, a long walk in the rain. Remind your nervous system that you are the boss, not your cravings for a heated blanket and a donut. Habit number 16, third-person self-talk. When you mess up, you probably tell yourself, I'm an idiot. Instead, talk to yourself in the third person. Instead of, I am stressed, say, your name is feeling stressed. It sounds like you're a character in a movie, but it creates psychological distance. It turns a panic attack into a problem-solving session. You wouldn't bully a friend. Stop bullying yourself. Habit number 17, the curated input strategy. You are what you eat, but you are also what you read, watch, and listen to. Don't just consume whatever the algorithm feeds you. Treat your input like a Michelin star meal. If a book isn't changing your life by page 50, drop it. If a podcast is just vibes with no substance, delete it. Guard your attention like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Habit number 18, the question, the expert reflex. The 99% take advice from anyone with a fancy title or a loud microphone. The 1% are professional skeptics. Just because someone has a PhD or 1 million followers doesn't mean they know what's best for your specific life. The habit? Every time you hear a universal truth, ask, does this actually apply to my goals? Or is it just a popular cliche? Stop being a sheep in wolf's clothing. Habit number 19, the incompetence embrace. Most people stop trying new things the second they hit puberty because they hate looking stupid. The 1% actively seek out things they're bad at. They take the beginner pottery class, they try the new software, they fumble through a new language. If you aren't willing to be a fool, you'll never be a master. The habit is simple. Suck at something new once a month. It keeps your ego in check and your brain plastic. Habit number 20, the weekly review, the CEO Sunday. The 99% drift through life like a leaf in a storm. The 1% spend 30 minutes every Sunday acting as the CEO of their own life. They look at the calendar, they audit the bank account, and they ask, did last week move me closer to where I want to be? If you don't steer the ship, don't be surprised when you hit an iceberg. Habit number 21, the 2-minute capture rule. An idea is a slippery fish. If you don't catch it immediately, it's gone. Don't just tell yourself, I'll remember that later. Spoiler, you won't. The elite have a system to capture every idea, task, or to-do the moment it hits their brain. Whether it's an app or a notebook, get it out of your head and into a system. Your brain is for having ideas, not holding them. Habit number 22, outcome independence. The 99% only work hard when they see immediate results. If the weight doesn't drop in a week, they quit. The 1% fall in love with the process. They don't care about the views on the video. They care about the quality of the edit. When you detach your happiness from the outcome and attach it to the effort, you become invincible. You can't lose if you never stop playing. Habit number 23, the analog sanctuary. We've talked about digital fasting, but this is different. The elite have a physical space that is completely tech-free. No chargers allowed. This is where they read, think, or just be. In a world that is trying to turn you into a data point, Having an analog sanctuary is an act of revolution. Habit number 24, the 24-hour implementation rule. When the 99% learn something new, they say, "That's interesting," and then they go back to their old lives. When the 1% learn something, they implement it within 24 hours. They don't need a plan, they just need a prototype. Perfection is the enemy of progress. If you want to change your life, start before you're ready. And, arguably, the most important habit, habit number 25, radical self-compassion. The 99% are their own worst critics. They beat themselves up for every mistake until they're too bruised to move. The 1% know that you can't build a great life on a foundation of self-hatred. The habit? Forgive yourself. Fast. You missed a workout. Cool. You ate the pizza? Whatever. Get back on the horse. Your future self doesn't care about your past mistakes. They only care about what you do now. That's the list. 25 habits most people are too comfortable to ever try. But remember, normal is just a polite word for average. The 99% will scroll past this and reset to factory settings in 5 minutes. They'll go right back to wondering why nothing changes. But you have the roadmap now. You don't need to do all 25. You just need to pick one and execute within the next 24 hours. Stop being a spectator. The world has enough critics. It needs architects. Stop waiting for permission and start building the version of yourself the rest of the world will eventually read about. The clock is ticking. What are you waiting for? Comment below which habit you're executing in the next 24 hours. I'll be looking to see who can actually hack it.